Hello.
Fotis, lovely to see you.
Hello,
I was
evening,
just,
Vanessa.
we've got some
And
people
you.
join. We've got some people joining. So I was just
Oh, the,
introducing.
the connection's a bit funny today.
Is it? I'm crystal clear, but
Oh, I think it's going to be one of those lives where it's stalling.
well,
Uh-oh.
we can cope with that. It's fine. Um, Hello to everyone who is joining. It's really lovely to see you. So, as I was saying, Fotis and I are going to be talking tonight about how you build a compelling future for yourself after separation and
Yeah, jumping back
divorce.
in again.
So, that is kind of, we've been doing this little series about divorce and separation and different aspects of that from our perspective as divorce coaches. And this is the final one in this series. So we are trying to now look at the future. And very often, when you are separating or divorcing, you feel like your whole future's been wiped away. It's not only the loss of the person, the actual partner, but it's actually the loss of that future that you thought you were going to have together. And I think sometimes as time goes on, that is the bigger loss, actually, rather than just the person. I don't know what you think, Fotis.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right because I guess physically you're not in the same environment as your ex-partner anymore. Then they're not there. You're now in a new accommodation, in a new place, etc. You've set new guidelines or boundaries for when you see your children, etc. So you're kind of left with yourself, and it's that's the hardest thing to move forward from, is setting your future, trying to get yourself unstuck and move forward. And that's what can take time, and it takes people a variety of times. There's no set timeline for this, but I think it
Yeah.
refers back to what we spoke about last week about taking action and not just letting time be the healer.
Yeah, I think so. And I think, very often, and
I
I
think
hear
it's
it from
freedom.
clients who say, what now? I'm kind of divorced. I'm through the kind of worst of that
Mm,
process. And who am I now? What am I now? What do I do now? And I think it's
yeah,
very much that feeling that it's an ending, and there's nothing kind of there for them to move forward to, which keeps us stuck. But it's not an
mm,
ending. Yes, your relationship and marriage has
yeah,
obviously come to an end, but actually it's a turning point in your life. And even if it feels like there are no positive steps for you going forward, there is always something that will help keep you grounded and actually think about moving forward. And I would say that, something particularly like gratitude
yeah,
can
yeah.
be a really good starting point. If you really feel like
Mhm.
there is nothing for you, that your life as you knew it is kind of over, which a lot of people do when they're getting divorced, um, start with gratitude. So, literally every morning think about one thing I'm grateful for. And even in the worst, darkest of times, there will be one small thing that you will be grateful for, which could be your comfortable duvet. It could be the coffee you got that morning. It doesn't have to be big stuff, the sun shining through the window,
Yeah.
but there will be something. And I think that's always a really good place to start.
Yeah, and
Can
if you
you hear
stack
me,
if you
Fotis?
stack those on a daily basis, if you start your day, I can. Yeah, does it keep freezing? It's a really bad
Yeah,
connection tonight for some reason.
yeah,
But I did hear that you were saying about gratitude,
yeah,
and I think that's a perfect way to start your day, is pick one or two things, and if you add to that list on a daily basis, it's part of that process of taking small, positive, regular steps, and that will lead to big gains over time. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. It's just finding that positive in the situation now, and it's a case of really like reframing the statements and questions that are in your mind. Instead of asking why has this happened to me, it's flipping that to say, what's good about this now? What does it allow you to do that maybe you couldn't have done before?
Yes, exactly. It
And I think
is.
we spoke
It's
about that
what,
as well earlier.
yeah, what do
It's
you
like
want
you
it to
can like
be?
reframe.
What do you want your future to be? Because this is an opportunity for you. Because maybe before you haven't been allowed to do certain things, or your life has been very much been shaped by um, your partner. And now is a chance to think, right, what do I want? And a lot of people talk about going back to the person they were before they got married or before they had that relationship. And I don't kind of agree with that really, because we change and evolve through life anyway. We should do. And I think certainly me, I'm very, very different to how I
Yeah.
was before I got married. And would I go back to that? Actually, no, because I've developed and changed in many ways as well. So I think it's about finding who you are now, not the person you were actually before
Yeah.
your relationship.
Yeah, I agree. It's
Sorry, I
about
think
giving
we've got a
yourself
really
time to
bad
step back
connection.
and reevaluate that. I don't know. Can you hear me? Is it stuck again?
Yeah, it keeps stalling. Sorry,
It's okay
everybody.
here, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, I'm really sorry,
We're
but
going to have
thank
to
you
edit
for all
this
of
and
you
repost it.
joining. It's really good to see you. We're talking
Yeah,
about
I'll
rebuilding a
carry on.
compelling future after divorce and separation. So I'm here with fellow divorce coach Fotis, and we were just talking about
Right.
building small steps into our life and deciding actually what we want now, and where we want to go. What would you say, Fotis? I mean, we're both divorced. What would you say was the biggest thing that made a difference to you in terms of helping you move forward after your divorce?
Yeah, good question. It's a combination of factors, really, but about a year after my divorce was finalised, I was then turning 50. So it was a real sort of, accumulation, double whammy of things. I got really physically out of shape. I was mentally quite stuck post divorce. And I thought, right, I've got to do something about this. I'd stopped and started various keep fit routines and dietary routines and stuff, but I wasn't really staying accountable for it. So I took rather drastic step. I sent an email out to all my work colleagues, and I worked in a place that had about 10,000 people, I think, globally. And I sent out an email saying, right, I'm doing a sponsored white collar boxing match, and I'm doing it for charity. So that that was like, that made me accountable. I couldn't back out of it, but also set me a deadline. It was happening in 3 months. So suddenly, it was the big thing was to get fit mentally and healthily. The small step was to make myself accountable and then set a timeline, which was 3 months. And actually, getting fit for that and training for that actually set habits in place that are still carrying on 5 years later. So that was my sort of thing. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think for me, it was, I mean, I was so busy with had four children who were quite young, so that was obviously a lot to kind of deal with, and kept me very much focused
Mm,
on them. And actually for me, I also had to go back to work, which was a big thing, having not worked for a while because I'd been a full-time mum for a
yeah,
while. And I, a thing that really helped me, I kind of wanted to do something that was just focused on me. And I actually wanted to kind of learn something. And that is actually what started me in retraining to become an accredited coach like I am now, actually. And I kind of needed to find something that was not about being a mum, not about being an ex-wife, not about being divorced. It was about I could just kind of get my teeth into, and it was my kind of little thing. And that started this whole journey. Actually, my
yeah,
intention was not to set up a business and work like I do now, which has been a massive, positive from, everything. But it was actually to give myself
Mm.
something to focus on.
Yeah,
Thank you
I think
everyone
that's
for
amazing. I
joining and
think
liking the live. Keep
like
liking.
I think doing that, focusing on yourself and learning something, and also giving yourself new experiences is such a large part. It's such a huge opportunity to do that. You know, that's part of the positive side of things. If you reframe it and think, right, what can I learn? What can I do for myself? And it goes back to another previous conversation where we said about your role modeling for your kids. If they see you doing positive things, if they see you learning, taking action, accountability like that, it's a good thing for them to see.
Yes, I agree. I think,
Hopefully it hasn't frozen again.
yeah, anything you can do that you feel like is adding to your, I suppose, self-development, really. Because, divorce takes a lot out of you emotionally. Any separation does. You have the raw emotions to begin with that you've got to kind of process. But then you've got all the practicalities and the setting up a new home. And if you've got children, there's a lot to think about. It's difficult at the end of the day. So focusing on something, whether it is a new hobby, starting an old hobby, it's learning something new, which is what I wanted to do. You went and did a challenge for yourself. But it's really thinking about, actually, where do I want to be in a year? Where do I want to be in 2 years, 5 years? And it's not necessarily big stuff. It's not stuff that has to cost money. I see we've got a comment there from, is it Smell and someone? I can't see. Smell and Weep. Depends if the ex-wife lets you see the children. I'm not sure what you're referring to, which bit of our conversation. I was saying if you've got children, I think. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's complex when people get divorced and there are children involved. And obviously we don't know your particular situation, but it's definitely, children being involved is complicated.
Yeah, we
Can you hear
appreciate
me,
every
folks?
situation's different, of course. So that knowing yeah, sorry if I dropped again.
It's
Yeah, I
fine.
can hear you. It's a shame because on my side it's continuous. Yeah, can you hear me again,
Yeah,
or has it
it's
stopped?
fine.
It's weird because
No,
on my
it's
side it's
fine.
continuous. So
So we basically have gone
okay, yeah, as we
through
said,
a whole,
each situation's different, unique.
yes, we've gone through now kind of a whole realm of lives now, Fotis, where we've looked at divorce from our perspective, we've looked at loss, we've looked at support, we've looked at communication, we've looked at children, we've looked at coping with being alone after separation and divorce. So, is there anything you'd like to reflect on as we kind of come to the end of this series? I don't know whether
I think
folks can hear
it's
me.
important to say that each person's I can hear you. Yeah, each person's experience is unique. It's very normal to go through the range of emotions. I think you just have to remember to try and treat yourself with kindness and care. Take the time and reach out. Reach out for help. You don't have to do it on your own. I think they're the main things I would say. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I mean,
It's frozen
reflecting
again, isn't
on
it?
no, reflecting on the things that we've talked about, I think it's it's very evident because we haven't talked about the legal process at all. I mean, obviously we're not lawyers, but we know and
No.
deal with a lot of lawyers, and we know a lot about the legal process, obviously, of divorce and child arrangements and financial arrangements, but we haven't talked about any of that at all. And I think that's actually a really important message because it demonstrates how much divorce is not just a legal process. It is a complete life transformation. And I think sometimes that is really underestimated by society and by people who are going through it. And I think it's really important to remember that. And I think the fact that we've talked kind of for 8 lives, I think now, and we have talked about all the stuff around emotions, recovery, the support that you need, but we've not talked about the legal process, I think is tantamount to that. And I just think is very interesting and shows how important all of this other stuff is when you are going through a massive separation and change in your life.
Totally agree. And, you know, there are experts there, aren't they, for the legal stuff and for the financial stuff. And I guess part of the great thing about what we've done over the last 8 weeks is show people and let them know that there are experts as well that can help you on the emotional side of it as well. So, you know, build that support team. You know, your legals looked after, but make sure your emotional side is looked after too.
So, as we draw to the close, please do follow Fotis and I here on TikTok. I'm Vanessa White Coach. Fotis, you are?
Fotis Coach.
And we're also happy to, if you want to message, if you've got any questions, obviously if you're interested in coaching one-to-one with either of us, then you can reach out to us. So please do contact us. Please follow us. Please do share our contacts with anyone you think would benefit from knowing what we do. And it's been really lovely to do these lives together. We will do more lives as we go forward on other subjects. So also, if you've got any topics that you would like us particularly to talk about in future, then please do let us know, because we obviously want to talk about things that are relevant. Have you got anything to add at the end there, Fotis?
No, just, thanks for everyone listening. As you say, if there's topics that people really want us to cover, that'd be great to know.
Yeah.
I know, sorry. Right. We'll edit all this, it'll be fine.
You're so confident. Okay. I do the editing, I'm not great. But yes, thank you so much for joining us and for liking the live and for coming on. And we will endeavour to post and like I say, please do contact us if you would like, and watch out for more lives that will be coming your way soon. And we will see you soon. Take care. Bye.